Calabria is located at the extreme southern tip of Italy and is considered one of the most beautiful and worth-seeing regions of this country. The warm waters of the Ionian and Thyrrenian Seas, along with favorable Mediterranean currents, provide a warm, varied Mediterranean climate that is perfect for water sports enthusiasts, hikers and those seeking relaxation. The quiet sandy beaches hidden among the rocks of the southern Italian coastline are far from the crowded tourist miles of Rimini. Small, secluded, with perfect white sand and crystal clear waters, they offer the unique, relaxing atmosphere of natural paradise gardens. The natural landscape of Calabria beckons with forests, fig groves, picturesque blue lakes and waterfalls, inviting visitors to hike and explore all year round. The region also offers a long and fascinating history, whose testimonies as churches, monasteries, castles, palaces and monuments still characterize the landscape today. The wild and mysterious landscape, the hearty specialties of the local cuisine and the testimonies of the ancient past make Calabria a unique vacation destination that has much to offer both in winter and in summer. If you like this video, please support our channel with a like, comment or subscription. Thank you. Scalea is a popular seaside resort in the province of Cosenza. The small town is located on the Cedro Riviera, a bay-rich stretch of the west coast of Calabria bordering the Tyrrenian Sea. Scalea has been inhabited since prehistoric times and was considered the religious center of the region in the 11th century. Today, about 10,000 people live in this coastal town, which has become one of the most visited tourist centers in Italy. Particularly noteworthy is the blend of Italian charm and tradition with the modern tourist facilities that attract visitors from all over the country and increasingly from abroad. Scalea is a very picturesque, typically Italian town that is particularly welcoming to guests and offers many beautiful viewpoints of the surrounding mountains and sea. The old town rises up the hill and is dominated by a long, wide staircase starting from Piazza del Parma. The particular design of the surrounding buildings creates the effect of a historic amphitheater. This ancient stone staircase is a striking meeting point, as is the 13th century Palazzo Spinelli. It is part of the town hall and one of the most important historical buildings in the lower part of the old town. The people here live from fishing and tourism. Their houses nestle on the rocky slope that rises above the small bay. The cathedral and the castle of Scilla watch over the village. Traditions are upheld here and the Italian attitude to life sets the pace. And the visitor feels this when he wanders through the intricate fisherman's quarter of Chialalia with its alleyways. Not even a car can pass through, so narrow are the alleys, where the residents have stretched their clotheslines high up on the facades. The pebble pavement is well kept and always leads the visitor to the coast. But even without a view of the sea, in the maze of alleys, you can hear the crashing of the waves against the stone coast. The fishermen have built their houses directly on the sea and park their boats right in front of the front door. They take them out to sea at night and come back in the morning with the specialty Scillas. As a visitor you should not miss this delicacy. In one of the many small bars or restaurants it is worth to enjoy the favorite dish of the Scillans, swordfish, freshly caught and prepared according to the Scillanian tradition. Anyone visiting Rocca Imperiale can hardly miss the imposing castle, for the spectacular fort from the early 13th century towers over the entire city centre. While the castle was originally commissioned by the Hohenstaufen Emperor Frederick II, it was rebuilt and extended several times, especially in the 15th and 17th centuries. Nevertheless, a visit offers you fascinating insights into the exciting history of the region, as well as the impressive architecture of the fortress. In addition, from here you can enjoy a simply fantastic view over Rocca Imperiale and the green hilly landscapes all around. If you are passionate about history and mystery, your stay in Calabria must necessarily include a visit to the village of Pentedattilo. In English Five Fingers, a small fraction of the municipality of Melito Porto Salvo. The singular name of the town is due to its characteristic position on the cliff of Mount Calvary, almost forming a gigantic hand. Until a few years ago, the old village was completely abandoned, and this makes it even more suggestive and fascinating. Today it's possible to stay in the beautiful rural houses Pentedattilo, old houses turned into hotels that are bringing back to life these ancient and charming places. Morano Calabro is a medieval village straight out of a picture book. Situated at an altitude of 700 meters in the middle of the Pollino National Park, a grandiose backdrop full of impressive natural landscapes awaits visitors here. Explore the historic old town with the Baroque church of St. Magdalena as well as the surrounding mountain landscape. Take extensive walks, long hikes, or use the peaks around Morano Calabro, which are well over 2,000 meters high, for mountaineering. Or visit the Norman castle above the town to enjoy the magnificent view over the unique nature of Calabria from above. The hamlet of Civita di Bagnaregio is a place from another time. Accessible only by a footbridge, the place is inhabited by few people, but vacationers are welcome. Accommodations are plentiful both in Civita di Bagnaregio and in the various nearby towns and villages. The once proud town of Civita di Bagnaregio, perched like a crown on the top of a tufa rock and attracting mainly with beautiful medieval and partly ancient buildings within its historic walls, was already considered a dying village in the 70s and 80s of the last century. At times no more than 5 to 12 people lived here. Today, Civita di Bagnaregio is considered one of the most beautiful villages in Italy, and rightly so. The medieval town, which can only be reached by a footbridge and has therefore been completely spared from cars until today, offers a short but intense view, in the middle of the history of Italy. If you take a walk through Civita di Bagnaregio, you will not only find romantic relaxation, but also the feeling of being immersed in another world. Not only the west coast of Calabria shines with beauty, there are also enchanting places on the Ionian Sea. In the province of Reggio Calabria is also the village of Stilo, located about 10 kilometers from the coast on a mountain slope, which delights not only with its view. Stilo is a member of the Italian Association of the Most Beautiful Places in the country, which works to ensure that attention is paid to culturally rich localities outside of tourist centers. What makes Stilo so special is, above all, the medieval charm that surrounds the village. The Church of Cattolica di Stilo, despite being built in the 10th century, is still well preserved and definitely worth the elevation gain. Don't miss the chance to stroll through the small streets, discover other historical buildings like the Church San Giovanni there Estis, and soak up the special atmosphere. Who hears Calabria certainly thinks first of beach vacations. However, Calabria also has a completely different face. With its charming original landscapes, the Pollino National Park invites nature lovers as well as adventurers to immerse themselves in the idyllic and yet at the same time eventful atmosphere of the mountain landscape and to embark on a very personal journey of discovery. The Pollino National Park extends from the Basilicata region to Calabria so that it can be reached quickly from the seaside resorts located on the Ionian Sea. The location is therefore ideal for taking a varied detour into the mountains in addition to a beach vacation, thus experiencing an exciting contrast. Breathe in fresh air, leave everyday stress behind and relax in restful nature. All this can be done wonderfully in Pollino Nature Reserve. Enjoy the impressive natural forces of its mountain range and let the numerous hiking trails invite you to explore the area and its sights on foot. Attentive observers can spot plenty of wild animals and rare plants during their excursion in the nature reserve. Also, discover the breathtaking waterfalls of the mountain region with its unique gorges. You should also not miss a visit to one of the caves of the national park during a tour in the Italian mountains. Reggio Calabria is also called the city of bronze statues and had a special importance in ancient times. The Romans and Greeks have left their traces in the Calabrian town. It is precisely the Greco-Roman charm that attracts many locals and tourists to the far south of Italy. Nestled between the coast and the Mediterranean Sea, the colorful metropolitan city lies directly on the Messina Strait with a view of the island of Sicily with Mount Etna. Reggio Calabria is also famous for the bergamot, which is also a symbol of the city. Visitors interested in culture should not miss a visit to the Aragonese fortress, the symbol of the city. From its tower you can look over the area all the way to Sicily. In the center of Reggio stands the Basilica di Maria Santissima Assunta in Cielo, built in neo-Romanesque Byzantine style. The city is famous for its splendid Art Nouveau villas, which can be admired while strolling through the old town. The Corso Giuseppe Garibaldi is always extremely busy, because here you can find numerous boutiques, stores, bars and cafes. The beautiful city garden, or the promenade, which is one of the most beautiful in the country, also invite you to take a stroll. The Sila National Park, Parco Nazionale della Scilla, is a natural beauty, often called the green lungs of Calabria. The national park is ideal for hikes that can last several days. Alternatively, the park is great to explore on horseback or by bike. Connoisseurs will be delighted with the numerous mushrooms, chestnuts and forest fruits, which may also be collected in household quantities. If you are lucky, you can also observe one of the many wild animals that live in the park. Crotone attracts countless international guests with a good cultural program and beautiful beaches. The city has, in addition to some historical monuments, many exciting destinations for young and old, so that visitors will remember their vacation in Calabria with pleasure. Crotone was founded in the 8th century BC as Crotone by Greek settlers and looks back on a long, eventful history. Those who decide to spend their vacation in the city should definitely pay a visit to the various sites. Of particular interest to travelers is the 9th century Duomo di Crotone, whose impressive facades are characterized by neoclassicism. Also highly recommended is a detour to the imposing Castello di la Castella or the 16th century Castello di Crotone. Arco Magno is a stunning natural arch on the coast of San Nicola a Sella in Calabria, Italy. Located at an elevation of about 800 feet above sea level, Arco Magno is the largest natural arch in Italy and one of the most popular tourist spots in the region. The arch measures about 500 feet in length and ranges from 160 to 190 feet in width, with two large caves behind the arch carved out by centuries of sea erosion. The arch's proximity to the sea has made it an ideal place for tourists to swim, snorkel, dive and climb in the area. It is also a popular place for sunset photos. Cosenza was an important city in ancient times and is also known as Città dei Abruzzi. It is one of the most important cities in the Calabria region in terms of economy and culture, but also in terms of art, thanks to, among other things, the Università della Calabria. In addition, the provincial capital of Cosenza also has an excellent regional cuisine, so you can enjoy numerous culinary delights in the local restaurants. One of the landmarks of the Italian city is the Romanesque Gothic-style cathedral, which was built around the year 1100. It houses the tomb of Henry VII, King of Sicily and Roman-German king, who belonged to the family of the Hohenstaufen. Like Henry, the French Queen Isabella of Aragon died after a fall from her horse and was also buried in the cathedral. The remains of Castello Svevo, built by the Byzantines probably in the 5th century, are located on a hill. Among the cultural highlights of Cosenza is also the theatre, dating from 1887. In addition, you should not miss a visit to the Café Renzelli, which has existed since 1803, as well as the city library. Fantastic beaches, impressive mountain scenery and culinary delights. Anyone traveling to the third largest city in Calabria, Lamezia Terme, will experience an Italy far removed from mass tourism, which is characterized above all by its varied landscape. Lamezia Terme, or simply Lamezia, is a very young city in the southern Italian region of Calabria. In 1968, the municipalities of Nicastro, San Bias and Sant'Eufemia were joined together and given the name Lamezia Terme. However, the individual districts have a very long history, some of which dates back to prehistoric times. Lamezia Terme was named after the thermal baths in the San Bias district, where even the ancient Romans bathed and sought relaxation. Lamezia Terme is located only a few kilometers from the Tyrrhenian coast. Here you can find both well-equipped sandy beaches and hidden secluded coves. The sea, shimmering in all shades of blue, invites you to dive, snorkel, surf and sail. If you travel to Lamezia Terme outside the high season, you will often find deserted beaches that will make anyone go into raptures. Not far from the coast rise impressive mountain ranges, which with their lonely gorges, wild rivers and high peaks are a paradise for nature lovers. Near Capo Vaticano, the sea currents of the Thyrrenian Sea and the Ionian Sea meet. To this day, the region, known as the Strait of Messina, is therefore feared by sailors. In ancient times, an oracle was consulted here about weather conditions and possible misfortunes. For this purpose, sailors went to the seer Mantinio, who orated in his grotto on a rocky outcrop in Capo Vaticano. Those who take the trouble to visit the grotto today have a breathtaking view of the sea, white shining beaches and islands like Lipari, Vulcano and Stromboli with the volcanic cone of the same name. At the foot of the bizarre rocky landscape of Capo Vaticano, beaches invite you to swim in the crystal clear sea water. Lonely, remote bays can be reached on boat tours. An almost untouched underwater world makes diving excursions extremely worthwhile. Landlubbers will find the botanical diversity of a green jungle on the rocks. Between cacti, deciduous and coniferous forests, flowering plants provide colorful carpets. The combination of mountains and sea allows numerous experiences in nature. In addition to seaside vacations, Capo Vaticano is a popular destination for trekking and hiking tours. The medieval town of Pizzo is located on the west coast of Calabria, in the region of Vibo Valentia, and is a popular destination on a tour of Italy. The picturesque town was built on a steep slope directly on the sea and offers spectacular views. Everywhere in the wonderful old town, with its romantic alleys, historic buildings and impressive squares, such as the beautiful Piazza della Repubblica, the main square of the town, tartufo ice cream is offered. This delicious ice cream specialty, consisting of a scoop of nut and chocolate ice cream, with a core of liquid chocolate, was invented in Pizzo and is world famous. In the center you will find Castello Murat, which was used as a fortress and prison. The most famous prisoner was Napoleon's brother-in-law and King of Naples, Joachim Murat. Another place of interest is the Chiesetta di Piedi Grotta, a grotto sanctuary a few meters from the beach. Inside are masterfully carved stone figures that, according to legend, come from shipwrecked people who donated them in thanksgiving for their salvation. The southern Italian town of Tropea attracts many visitors with its beautiful beaches and several sites. One of the most beautiful attractions is the famous viewpoint Capo Vaticano. The town of Tropea is located in the Calabria region and has about 6,500 inhabitants. The Mediterranean Sea presents itself to holidaymakers here with wonderful sandy beaches and a unique sea panorama from its original side. There is hardly anything more beautiful than to take a walk along the coast and have a look at the deep blue Thyrrenian Sea. It is also worthwhile to explore the impressive, historic old town of Tropea. It has many well-preserved medieval buildings and residences that characterize the pleasant atmosphere in the city. To spend relaxing hours on natural sandy beaches or to discover the culinary specialties of Calabria, Tropea is the ideal destination for a relaxing family vacation. Tropea was already mentioned in Roman times and looks back on a long, eventful history. If you are interested in the country and its people, you should definitely visit the impressive sites of the town. The Cattedrale di Tropea from the 12th century, which is one of the most beautiful buildings in the area, has been restored and rebuilt several times. In addition, Tropea has many characteristic palazzi, which enjoy great popularity not only among architecture lovers,